Good morning. It's Monday. I have something to say about that, by the way. It's Last week I thought a lot about people being held in captivity and prisoners. And even when you're in captivity or prisoner, you get some sort of daily routine, right? You get up in the sometime, do your morning routine, take care of yourself, do those kinds of things. We all do it, right? And it's part of the word that just came to my mind is drudgery of life. And that's not a good perspective at all. First, we give homage to the earth. Then we give homage to the sky. I have to change directions or to the south, to the west. I should have done the west first. To the east and to the north. Clear the space. Only love and light and clear energy and happiness and truthfulness. Although when I say truthfulness, I want to make a point that I do believe in a well-placed lie. Like there is the importance of a well-placed lie without it being like deceptive. Like it doesn't have to be deceptive. I mean, it is deceptive, right? Tell the truth. Occasionally, there is good cause for a well-placed lie. There's my dog. Now, so this weekend, talking about local Monday news, I also went to the No Kings here in my little town, not my hometown, but this little place that I currently living. Because I've moved a lot. Anyway, it was a good turnout. We think that we had almost 700 people there. That was the count from a lot of other people, not from me. I haven't seen the official count. We had a band, which is really cool for a protest, right? Because we're not like walking down the street. We're just in front of the courthouse standing on the street. And so this was what was really cool is, this is how many people were there. And we're not talking a big town, right? We're talking a small college town. But so we all stand in front of the courthouse, and usually they don't have us roped off. But yes, our Saturday they had us roped off, and I'm pretty sure it's because of the trucks that go by and they try to, I think it's called coal riding us or something. I don't know. I'll look it up. Let's see. Big trucks spew black smoke. How do you spell smoke? From the exhaust. And I don't know what's that called. What is the term? Suit? No, it's not a suit. I think they call it coaling. Did he coal you? Anyway, moving on very quickly. Yeah, so they come by and that's exactly what they do. They spew black smoke out of their exhaust at us, and we're just standing right on the edge of the road, so it comes right in our faces. They get ticketed for that. So when they drive by and do that, what happens is the police are like sitting somewhere, and right away their sirens go on. And so now we're all like, we're a crowd booing, don't do that, don't just shoot back black smoke at us. And then, and then the police, who are not our friends, but in this situation really do an exceptional job, because they turn on their sirens and they go for them, and then the crowd explodes. So, with that being said, we started out with just people on the north side of the road. And as the afternoon progressed, because we did it in the afternoon, we didn't do it in the morning. We did it from 2 to 5 in the evening. And so that was different too. And having the band, and we had free food, we had pizza, we had vegetables, tons and tons of vegetables. We had drinks. I mean, it was a community gathering. It was so community. Like one of the protests was, this is what democracy looks like. right? We know this is what democracy looks like, but they changed a little bit and said, this is what, oh no, this is what community looks like. This is what community looks like. It was cool. Anyway, going back to people being on the road. As the afternoon progressed and more people came and more people came, we started to do what I call taking the corners. I think other people call it that too. We take the corners, right? So not only did we take the street in front of the courthouse, but then we took the corner to the east and then the corner to the northeast. And then we took the street across, like we took the whole sidewalk. People were standing across the whole sidewalk and then, or on the sidewalk all the way across the street. And then we took that corner and then we took the corner to the southwest. And then we took the corner to the northwest. Yeah. North. Yeah. We got all northeast, northwest, northeast, north, south, or southwest, southeast. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, that's a lot of people standing on the street corner saying, Trump's got to go. Trump's got to go. Trump's got to go. It was a great time. Again, I see so many people, and then they see me. We get connected. Then at the very end, the Young Democrats of Wyoming marched from the courthouse down about 5 blocks and then across the street and then back all the way down to First, which was like another 4 blocks, right? And then at First and Grand is where we all met together and had more discussion about where the Young Democrats did, right? And it was neat for me to be able to sit there and listen to the Young Democrats talking about what their concerns and fears are. And one of them is this, we know this, all right? The algorithm. The algorithm is taking away our freedom of speech. The algorithm won't let us print or post things if it deems them too political. It's the algorithm. The algorithm has now, what is that, polarity? Reached polarity? Because the algorithm is now like a living thing, like it has an identity, and it prevents us from free speech. That was one of the things I took away from the young people. Again, just had so much fun. Had a confrontation with I did, but they were standing on a street corner, and I was at the front of the parade, or not the parade, sorry, at the front of the protest, the march, and so. I was alerted that these guys are standing here, like 6 of them, 6 white guys. They're under 21, I'm sure. Maybe they're 21. They're standing on a street corner and they're yelling at our people who are peacefully walking. And so I did confront one of those. No, I'm not going to tell you on here what I said, because but he said, I can tell you what he said. He said, that is so inappropriate. I was like, yes, it was. Dude, that's my freedom of speech. All right, so what's in the news on Monday morning? I have 3 children. I want to just talk about this real quick, too. I have 3 children. I have 2 daughters and a son. And I think about them daily. And I miss them. But I didn't give them roots so they wouldn't have wings. And when you have wings, you fly. So why not fly and shine? Okay, that can be a message for everybody. Okay, back to the news. Wyophile this morning. The first thing I have is, okay, this is from Wyophile. Please check them out, wyophile.com. And if you can donate money, please donate money to wyophile.com. They get us news, right? They are getting us news that we would not otherwise get. And I oftentimes I use it to spur what I want to talk about. And with that, like being spurred on what I want to talk about. like I have Tuesday, like I know what I'm doing this Tuesday and next Tuesday for workers' justice, both social and restorative justice for workers within the workplace. Because I know it's not like, who I believe or I think. No, I know the US justice system does not support workers. And it's a waste of time and money for a worker to try and go after their employer through the US justice system. I have a story about that. But tomorrow for workers' justice, I want to share the story of the first time I got fired, right? So I've been fired multiple times, and mostly it's because I'm not a quitter, right? Like, I'm not a quitter. I'm not going to quit. So I want to share it. Okay, I'm not going to go there. But I have some stories to share, and those stories help inform where I come from when I talk about social and restorative justice for workers. And I think when you hear these stories, you're going to understand why too. You're going to be like, wow, that's what you got fired for. But that's going to be tomorrow. Not a big deal. And then I'm going to go into more of restorative justice for workers, what workers can do within their own workplace to try and stimulate the conversations that they need to have. And I know it's still difficult when you're trying to talk to someone whose door is shut, right? You're there, and even if their door is open and you go in and you try to talk to them, they're sitting behind a desk, still the intimidation thing. So I want to like go for a walk. Ask them, would it be okay if we just went for a walk? It helps kind of even the playing field. Anyway, that's Tuesday, Wednesday. We're going to keep going with the shutdown and like how to solve it and why won't they solve it and what does it mean for our constitutional crisis that we're in right now, and how are we going to address this constitutional crisis that we're in. And we talk a lot. I mean, we hear it all the time from everybody. Call your Congress people, call your senators, call your House of Representatives, and that's still true. Like, do it again. Like, people start saying, is it even doing any good? Well, you know what? We don't know. But if we stop, we know it's not going to do any good, right? Again, not quitting. If you stop, then you know it's not any good. You know it's not going to go anywhere. All right, so we have to keep working on that. And Friday, for Compassionate Fridays this week, I think I'm going to do, I'm hoping a friend of mine's going to join me. She said she might on Friday, which would be cool. And then I'm getting an invitation from someone on Facebook to go on their live. So I'm going to see if will be mutual. And then I'll be able to figure that out, because I haven't done that before, obviously, because I just keep going on. And I know people are watching, but not joining. So if you could join or you guys know, as a creator, the algorithm is in control. So your likes help. All right, YOFile.com. Please donate to them. Furloughed federal workers struggle. Hang on, help one another. This is by Angus Thurmer, Jr., and I'm just reading the headline. Civilian federal workers in Wyoming furloughed during the government shutdown say they're stressed, angry, and trying to help one another as their paychecks are cut, leaving them languishing in uncertainty. Donate to your local food bank. If you have extra food in your house, or if you're one of those people who's lucky enough to be able to buy an extra bag of groceries for someone, try to get it to the food bank. And I'll do some more work by Wednesday too, to see what those local places are. And please don't be ashamed to go to a food bank. That's why they're there. That's just flipped my thought, raccoon, right? Or squirrel and raccoon. I saw some baby raccoons one time. We were living out in a farm in Colorado, way out in the boonies. And this mama raccoon got into our basement window well and had her babies. And they all got stuck down there. And so, you don't want to mess with a raccoon. You just don't. They will mess you up. So we put something down. I don't remember what. For some reason, I'm thinking it was a shovel. But we put something down in the window well that she could get her babies out of that window well. So raccoon, squirrel, right? And now I completely forgot what I was talking about. Furloughing workers, Ozempic, diet pills. or not diet pills. Now it's not even a diet pill, you guys. Now it's a diet, shoot me something into my body. Please understand, if you are grossly overweight and something like that is helping you control and finally lose that weight that you've been battling for so long, understand. But to just be skinny, okay, it's your choice. Whatever. My point is, coming back to being furloughed and food banks, is I see a lot of people who are losing weight right now, not because they're on some fancy drug that costs them $150 a month. It's because $150 a month buys diapers or, formula if you need it, or milk, or pays the electric bill a little bit more, just long enough to keep it on for a few more days, right? So we're all losing weight because grocery prices are so high. Like, it costs a lot of money just to buy 1 week's worth of food. So people are losing weight around me because we're just not able to afford food like we used to, and it's just gotten more expensive. You do not want that. Okay, so donate to your local food bank. Make your own choices about your body. Okay, number 2, this is by Katie Klingsporn. As Wyoming maternity care continues to erode, lawmakers will Band-Aids. Band-Aids. We don't have long-term solutions. We have short-term Band-Aids. And what happens when you rip the Band-Aid off? First off, always rip the Band-Aid off fast, because ripping the Band-Aid off slow does not help, right? And not too fast, like that can hurt even more. But just rip the Band-Aid off. Okay. We don't frickin' have a long-term frickin' solution. We'll talk about that on Wednesday. We'll talk more about why Wyoming doesn't have solutions for our rural health care. Oh, Maggie, I think I saw you. I saw you at the protest. The Wyoming legislature, okay, first off, Wyoming lawmakers scrutinize health department ahead of budget session. Sorry, I used to work for the health department. It's not funny, but if we don't laugh, what are we going to do? Cry? I have a whole story about that too, about being back in South Dakota, working on the farm with my aunt and uncle, and then take the truck out to take my uncle lunch, right? So I had to go out like a bunch of acres out in the farmland to find my uncle, and I find him, and then squirrel, and my car goes into the ditch. My uncle's pissed. He wasn't really mad though, right? Like, he was really nice about, like, what happened? Kind of can see you got yourself in the ditch. It's like, yeah. And well, anyway, I got back home to my aunt, and I was like 16. I got back home to my aunt, and she started laughing. I said, why are you laughing? Uncle is mad at me because I drove the car into the ditch. She goes, yeah, I heard it's on the radio. She goes, what are you going to do? You're either going to laugh or you're going to cry. Which one do you want to do? All right. So the Department of Health in Wyoming is always scrutinized by the legislature. So are other departments. The transportation, though, for whatever reason, they've got a different system, and Game and Fish, they've got their own whole department. They don't, they make their own revenue because they sell fishing licenses. All right, the Wyoming legislature 2026 budget session is still 4 months away, but lawmakers are already scrutinizing the Wyoming Department of Health's budget. It's part of the Freedom Caucus-led dodging of unconstitutional and wasteful spending from the state budget. Okay, here's the next thing. I did a short that I'm going to share again on manifesting. I know that I can have an intention. I know that I can have an intention and then do a storyboard or do a picture board. I'm pointing because that's what I've done, right? I have an intention. I have a vision in my mind of what I want to create. So I have a storyboard put together of, with the steps and how that's going to go. And I have a list of things. So, and manifesting, right? So yesterday I was cleaning out my kitchen and I needed a box and right, and I needed just a specific size box. In my head, I was like, oh my gosh, I need a box. So I have boxes. So I'm going to look for a box, and I turn around the corner, and on one of my desks is a box, and it's an empty box. It's a box I just got. And so I'm like, there, that's the perfect size box for what I need. And I go and I do my thing with this box, right? I didn't manifest that. I didn't like that. That's not how that happened. I had an intent to go find a box, and the box was there. There's something to like trusting the flow, like just fucking trusting the flow. If I hadn't found that box there, I would have kept looking until I found a box, the right box, right? I just happened to find one as soon as I walked around the corner. My intent was to find a box, and I would continue to do the steps I needed to make that box a reality for me. And right, I was just going to keep looking until I found a box or a different solution. That's an intention. That's an intention. That's setting a purpose. That's a goal. It's not a magic click my fingers and something magically appears, right? There's a whole bunch of steps involved. I mean, I go back when people say manifesting, I think, isn't that the same as goal setting? Like, set yourself a goal. And then whenever you set yourself a goal, you have to take certain steps to that. So say, I'd like to be in a relationship with a good man that's available, right? Like, I have 3 criteria: that you're local, that you're not in a position to date, right? Like, you're local, at least within 100-mile radius of me. You're local. You're not in a position of authority over me. So you're not a professor of mine. You're not a boss of mine. You're not a police officer. No, like people in those kinds of positions of authority. Like, I'm not going to date you. Number 3, if you're married, like, don't come at me if you're married. Come on. Like, come on. Those are my criteria. So, okay, so I want a relationship. So I'm sitting here at home going, oh, I want a relationship. No, okay, fine. I have to do those steps. So I have to put myself out there and go to some functions where I might meet more people who are like-minded as I am and enjoy the same things that I do, and be ready to have open and honest conversations with different people. I'm not manifesting anything. I'm setting an intention, which maybe that's all it, but I'm also taking the necessary steps to make it happen. And I'm willing to keep doing that until it happens. You can say the same thing with working, right? Finding a job, right? Oh, I didn't find a job for a year, but then I found a job. The reason you found a job is because you didn't give up. You didn't quit looking, right? I'm going to find a job because I'm not going to quit looking until I do. I'm going to keep making these morning lives because they're bringing me joy. Okay, that's the other thing that I want to talk about. Wait, hold on. I want to just check because I know there's more on WyoFile, but check it out. All right. Shutdown shuts out low-income Wyomingites from heating help and threatens SNAP. Okay. All right, there's a couple other. I forgot now what I was going to talk about. Materializing, manifesting, visualizing, goal setting, dating, looking for a job. You don't give up. You just don't give up. Okay, well, it's not coming back to me at the moment. Furloughed employees, furloughed people. Like, one of the first things you have to do when you lose your job is you have to go through your income and your outgo, right? What's your expenses? What money is going out, right? And then make sure, or do your very best, that your outgo is less than your income. That means like getting hold of credit card companies and asking them to, give you a few months off. It means like just doing that kind of stuff, going through your budget and saying, what can I reduce down? Who can I talk to about getting help with that? And where can I go for assistance with this? But it sounds like it's going to be hard getting heating assistance. I don't know. It'll come back to me, I think, hopefully. That's the Monday news. Going to find out what's going on with our legislators, our Congress people, as far as the shutdown and whatever else is going on. I'm going to do some shorts on that. Probably do some shorts on what we talked about on Saturday, what I talked to most people about on Saturday when we talked, when we were all at the No Kings protest. One of the big things is people really believe in the 2026 election. People really believe that we're going to be able to make a difference in the 2026 election. And maybe that's true. I mean, I'm hopeful too, right? I'm hopeful too. All right, here we go. Manifesting. Okay. No, never mind. A relationship. That's what I was talking about. All right. So I pulled one card from my affirmators deck. There it is. Don't look at my nails. I got to get them done. Inspiration. There's a voice of inspiration with me. There is a voice of inspiration within me. Right now, it's only a whisper, but the more I listen, the louder it will get. I just remembered. Soon it will be a flawless speech, voiced by James Earl Jones through a megaphone with lots of applause. These podcasts, that's what I wanted to talk about. I started this channel 8 years ago. And when I was looking through the videos to see if there was something else that I wanted to put up or other videos from my past that I wanted to share, I noticed that I had started the channel 8 years ago, and then I took a break about 4 years ago. Or I just stopped making videos for a period of time, like a couple of years. And I love this. Like, I love looking at video footage and trying to figure out how to recut it and video stories and like make a message through video recording. And so like, this is why things work out, right? Like, we don't realize it, but they do if we just believe that or have faith. Because I was exited from my job. And right away, I turned to YouTube. Like, right away, I turned to making videos, like almost instinctually. And I just, like, right now, I'm just not going to not do it, right? I'm going to keep going because this is where I feel like I need to be right now. Something happened. I was exited from my job. I could sit and be unhappy, like my aunt said, right? You can either cry about it or laugh about it, or you can keep going, right? I miss my coworkers horribly. I wish they knew that. But I am so thankful that I'm not working Christmas and I'm not working New Year's. I mean, something could change and I could get a job tomorrow. Like, that could happen too. And I could be working Christmas and New Year's. But at this moment, I just feel so much joy at that. And it's the small thing, right? It's the small things. Like, those deadlines were hard, freaking hard. And everybody who works with a solid deadline, like a hard deadline, not like, can you get this done by Tuesday at 3? No, like, you've got to get it done by Tuesday at 3 or you're screwed, right? Those hard deadlines are hard on everybody. And this year, I don't have to do that. This Christmas, I don't have to do that. That brings me to Tuesday's workers' justice, because I want to talk about getting pigeonholed, right? So applied for a specific job, got that specific job, then got pigeonholed into that specific job, and considering me for any other role or position within the organization was never even thought of, like, didn't even occur to anyone. but that there's another side to that too. There's where people work in organizations for decades, right? And they get pigeonholed into this specific role. And even though they have the knowledge, skills, or abilities, or could be taught easily the knowledge, skills, and abilities for another role, they've been pigeonholed into a specific position, and that prevents innovation. That causes stagnation within the organization, and employee and worker discouragement, right? The workers like they're in the organization because they've been in the organization for decades. Their retirement is awesome. So they're not really putting anything in. They're just like working for retirement. And okay, if that's the workforce you want, which are people who are just, that goes back to my beginning. The day to day, whether we're in captivity or in a 9-to-5, Monday through Friday job, we all have these routines that we get into that, if we're not careful, can stagnate us. But I don't know, also challenge our ability to hope that things can get better. All right. So inspiration, Grandma Bertha, Grandma Kyanthia, you've inspired me today. You were brave, strong women who were willing to do something that women had not ever done before. You were able to break free of molds that you did not want to stay in, and you remain an inspiration to me. So, inspiration. All right, I will see you all tomorrow. We'll talk more about worker justice. And stay tuned. Tell your friends I'm out here making a difference every day. Gonna find some food to donate. Alexa, will you play some music, please? My daughter got me these earrings when she was in Italy. I'm having trouble with Alexa today.